What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 24 of the Fallen for Film podcast. I am Ryan O'Toole. Episode 24. We're getting close to 30. I can't believe that. And we're getting through the summer. I think the summer is over already. We're already in September. That's crazy, Colin. Anyway, Colin, my co-host, how are you, man? Another episode.
Doing okay, man. It was kind of an interesting week this week. Got my first COVID test, man. That thing is infuriatingly painful. No, it's not that bad. Yeah. It's just it's not really bad. It's just very weird. It feels like you're drowning. They put like a thing down your nose and make you hold onto the steering wheel and push your head back. So it was a little bit, and then I was like, oh, you could like hear me like make a reaction. So it was a little interesting doing that, but did that and kind of, just hanging out. My brother's got COVID, so it's kind of sad.
Oh, hopefully man, that sucks. Yeah. But you were telling me before we started filming, and he feels all right. Yeah,
he's feeling fine. He felt kind of bad the first couple of days, but him and his roommate have it. His couple friends have it too, and now he's just chilling. And he saved up like a bunch of money to go to where he ended up moving to, and he's doing like because he got unemployment for a while, was making kind of good money from that as well, and. But now he's having trouble finding a job, and he felt like he was going to get one, but then he had to tell him he's got COVID, so that's kind of sucked. He kind of lost a job opportunity because of it too.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I mean, This year's just been wild. I mean, anybody can get COVID now these days, even young kids. It's
and they're even learning. And we got a couple kids that got it at our school.
You can tell me that.
Yeah, so it's interesting too because because every day it seems like we're learning more and more about it, and I'm like, oh wait, that was incorrect. It's not really this, and it seems like the virus is picking and as before early on, it was kind of infecting everybody, but now it seems as though it's picking and choosing. Like some people are susceptible to it, and or if they do get it, they don't have near the effects. Like for example, my brother's roommate has COVID, and he didn't have near the symptoms that Nathan did, my brother, for the first 3 days. He said he's like fine, you know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting how just random and unique the virus is to each individual person.
Yeah, I mean, I know many people had different experiences, like you said, painful, not really painful, they were fine, but it's just crazy. We need to urge this message to everybody. If you're out in public, wash your hands, stay socially distant from people, stay home if you're sick, and do everything possible to wear a mask any place you go in the public. I don't care if you make some bullshit medical excuse. No, wearing a mask is critical. This is how we stop things like this.
Get like a Bane looking one. Make yourself look cool,
If you want to look badass, wear a Bane mask.
Has there been any? Have you seen anybody with there has to have been made one.
I have not. I'm waiting for that one person.
You would think they would be one of that, wouldn't you? Like,
yeah, I wouldn't be that person. I'm like, nah. But
or the one where it's like a Heath Ledger's Joker. You'd think they would be that one too.
Just get a mask that looks like Bane, but not like his actual mask, but like the Bane color and something like that. Yeah,
with the art on it and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be talking about 2 actors that did test positive. You guys know watching who did test positive. But anyway, before we get to that, Colin, let's catch up on some Big Brother. You all caught up with Big Brother?
Yeah, I am. I watched, what was it? What's today? Saturday? Yeah, so I watched Thursday's episode. Saul got evicted and everything. It's going good. I mean, I think Tyler is the best player right now. I think
Enzo is right now.
He's playing a good one. I think Tyler does this unbelievably amazing gift where he molds his talking style to each person. So like when he's talking to like usually a lot of females, he's a little bit more calm and cool, collected. When he's talking to some of the bros, he's like, let's go. He's super pumped up and he talks their language. He talks their language and it's like
his social game's great.
Social game's great. And I would say Ian, even though he's laying low, I'd say them two are playing the best games right now. I think Cody and Enzo playing good games, but I think they're playing a little too hard. Danny's playing too hard. Yeah. Danny's playing too hard as well. Playing in a lot of feeds.
Yeah, I think Enzo right now, he's in a great spot socially, but physically he's got to tone way down. Yeah, so does Cody.
He's a beast, yeah.
Danny, it was my winner pick, but I'm seeing she's playing way too hard right now. They're going to I think they're going to try to backdoor her this week. I don't know. We shall see.
Well, who won HOH again?
Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
Christmas one.
She'll do anything that they say. She's really doesn't have much of a thoughts on her own.
Yeah. Who got evicted so far? Kaser, Janelle, Nicole Anthony.
My mom's a big old school Big Brother fan. She watched like, the earlier stuff, so it's kind of sad. Like Janelle.
I was sad Kaser left. I mean, I was talking with my mom. Like, why are they getting out Kaser? He's not even a threat. They're just getting him out because of Janelle.
It's just safe, yeah.
And I love that speech he made, like when he went out and said, "Let's play All Stars, not play like summer vacation."
Well, Ian told him to make that speech too, to call everybody out. That was kind of genius of him.
Yeah, Ian's playing a great game, but hopefully, like Enzo, someone doesn't win to backdoor him because I want Ian to go really far.
Yeah, for sure. I think him and Tyler are my favorites so far.
Yeah, I know people hating the season so far, but I'm really enjoying Big Brother All Stars.
Yeah, I'm never one of those people that like. There's always people. Actually, it's funny enough. I don't know if I texted you, but Big Brother Twitter is one of the most toxic fan bases I've ever.
Yeah, dude, it's really toxic.
They complain about everything. If you're a straight white male and you win a competition, you should just not even go on Twitter. If a straight white male, you're just gonna get blasted if another straight white male won a competition, because how dare they win, because it's unfair. It's like, dude, It's just a game. It's just a game. I'm sorry that someone more diverse didn't win.
I'd like to see you go in that Big Brother house.
I think I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think I would be excellent at the game. I think I'm a people person. I'm not like super competitive physical stuff, but I can hold my own, and I think I would be really good at it. But it would be something I would love to do. I would be like one of those super fans that join the show. I would love to do it. I'd play a little dumb, kind of like Tyler does, act like I don't know anything. But.
Yeah, and my brother Cody, he auditioned for the show twice or three times now. Cody, don't correct me, but anyway, he's met Derek. And he's met Johnny Mac, and Meg took in pictures with them.
Johnny Mac he's a legend, dude.
Yeah, I wish he was on the season, but I never wanted.
Yeah, he would have been a great pick.
I never auditioned for the show. Like, it's not my thing. I'm not made for reality.
I would definitely consider auditioning.
I would be like David. I would just be like, huh? What?
David's such an idiot, dude.
Yeah, Dave was just put on there for jokes, dude.
He's just a rookie. They asked him if he like flipped the vote, and he was like,
"What? What do you mean? What vote?"
Yeah, he's such a doofus, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, dude. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about today, Colin, and it's going to be a short episode, thank goodness, because there's not a lot of news to talk about, and it's just us. But there's some very exciting topics. I figure we should just get right into it, man.
Dude, just let's go. Let's go.
Do it. But before we do, if you guys are new to the Fallen for Film podcast, this is what we do every single week. If you want to see more episodes, but if you don't have time to watch it on YouTube, there are podcast platforms, Spotify, Google Play, and iTunes. Go follow us over there. Leave us a review on iTunes. We've gotten some reviews. Thank you guys for that. And yeah, if you want to watch us when you're at work or when you're driving, they're available at your service right there. Podcast platform links are in the description. All right, let's start with the first topic, Colin. New movies this week. So we got two big. It's very nice. We actually are getting new movies released in theaters as well as streaming services. Mm-hmm. All right. So Tenet is finally out in limited theaters this week. We both got to see it early, August 31st. Thank you to Fandango, the early access screenings. And Mulan as well came out this week. I watched it yesterday. You watched it yesterday. We got our reviews out, and we are different. We are totally different in our thoughts on those movies.
Both of them.
Yeah. So let's start with Tenet. I was very pumped going into Tenet. You were as well. It was one of my most anticipated. The trailers were great. It's Christopher Nolan. He's got the name. He knows how to bring the audience, and the IMAX experience, like this was going to be great. And watching the movie, it was an epic beyond belief. There's something we do agree on. The film is confusing on first viewing. But I feel like for me personally, watching the film a second time, for me, I feel like it'll make more sense for what Nolan's trying to tell with time, as well as what we think of time and what's going on for these characters and how they perceive time. But I love the movie. Despite how confused I was just so pumped by how much I loved the film. And this was made by a person who loves the filmmaking craft. The acting's great. I talked about it in my review. The technical aspects are why I love the film. The story was also just, it gets in your head. Like, it got in my head, man. I wanted to explore this film, like do homework on it. It was like a teacher giving you like a really hard homework assignment, like Tenet. Like you have like a month to like figure out the plot details. And like, I love that knowing he's one of those directors that can do that. And Tenet is just full of stuff that I'm ready to eat up and explore more. Loved it. Mulan, I know we were different on this as well. Really liked Mulan more than I thought I was. I mean, you know, I'm a huge fan of the animated one. I thought that was one of my favorite from the Renaissance era. But for this one, it actually felt completely different from that original film. It focused more on the lore of Mulan more than the Disney one. And I thought the action was great. You know, the Mulan stuff, the acting wasn't perfect, but I think the action and the warrior aspects were I loved most about it. It's not a perfect movie, but I just enjoyed it all.
Yeah, man. We had different experiences.
Yeah, I know. I saw your tweet on Mulan. I was like, 20 minutes into Mulan. I was like, why are they even
Did you watch my review? Did you watch my review?
I did. Yeah, I watched both
your
reviews.
That was I think that's one of my favorite movie reviews I've ever done, because I've switched up my formula a little bit, where I used to say what worked and what didn't work, and I would always kind of be super formulaic. Now I'm just going to like what you do. You just say how you feel right away, and then you hint on negatives or positives. I did that with Tenet, and I did it with Mulan. The only problem with Tenet is I was super passionate about it, and I came off a little frantic sometimes, and my lighting wasn't quite right, so I didn't love that video. But my Mulan video, I really enjoyed what I did on that one, and yeah, I felt differently about both of them. First of all, I want to say I'm really happy that you liked them. But that's awesome, because we go to movies because we want to enjoy them. Unfortunately, I was bummed out by both, especially Tenet, because on my most anticipated movies of 2020 list, it was my most anticipated movie, and we talked about it on the podcast ad nauseum. I said that I would see a hazmat suit to see Tenet. I was super pumped, and I just think I understand why people would. Like, I saw it, and I walked out, and I was like, well, that was a complete and utter disaster. And I knew. To be honest, I kind of felt like more people would have felt that way, and they did. It's a divisive movie for sure, probably one of his more divisive films. Which, funny enough, his last couple have been. If you look at Dunkirk, Interstellar, and The Dark Knight Rises, so maybe he's just kind of a divisive filmmaker. That's kind of what he is now. That's fine. It creates conversation. But I just felt like, and my reviews up on my channel for really more in-depth thoughts, but I've calmed down on my opinion a little bit. I was very passionate when it first came out, because I was so shockingly disappointed and frustrated with what Christopher Nolan gave us in the movie. But I just felt like it was the two words I'm going to use a lot is unnecessarily confusing. And I felt like all the time inversion stuff that he handles in the movie was a little confusing, but that's kind of a good thing, because that's kind of the nature of that. It's how we perceive time is differently than how he portrays time in this movie. So it's inherently going to be confusing, but I felt like I was able to follow most of that stuff. But when it came to character motivation, the context for action sequences, and the stakes for certain situations, I felt didn't fully grasp with me, and I wasn't able to fully resonate with the things that were happening, as well as it moved really quickly, gives information, as well as having really big sound mixing, so it's hard to hear the information they were giving. So it was overall a frustrating experience, because I was an hour into the movie. It was a little bit of a frustrating experience, because I was an hour into the movie, and I was like, this looks good. I like what my eyes are seeing, but my mind is confused. You know what I'm saying? It was interesting.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to really get into it, and then I finally was like, okay, this is why we're doing this, but I didn't really know much more than kind of the basic stuff. And I felt like I just felt like in a movie that's confusing, Nolan's movies have typically been confusing a little bit. Inception, Interstellar, love those movies, and I completely understand those movies now. But when you first see them, they're a little they're confusing, but I think what makes you connect to them, or what makes it better, is they're able to connect to the characters and latch onto them. And like with Inception, you're able to understand Cobb about coping with the death of his wife and being with his kids again. You're able to connect with Cooper or Batman or some of these characters in his earlier works, whereas here it was confusing. I didn't. You had the time aspect, which inherently is going to be confusing, and you couldn't connect to the characters to salvage my frustration for the confusing movie. So this movie just had layers and layers and layers of really frustrating aspects of the movie, and it's the only Nolan movie I would go negative on. It's my least favorite Nolan movie, and it's sad, man. I was really bummed out.
Yeah, that was surprising. That was your least favorite. I mean, I get your criticisms, man. I mean, I had a different experience all around. I know some people had issues with the audio and stuff. They were having a hard time.
It wasn't as bad as some people were saying.
The only times where they're wearing a mask and in loud situations, I was like, what are they saying in there? Like, you know, the opening scene when they're wearing the mask and like, you have to go here, we have to break out of this. That was the only parts I couldn't understand them, but I could understand basically what specific scenes they were saying. But as far as the film overall, I was kind of lost like the last hour of the film, but I was just so blown away with the filmmaking and the storytelling.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. I just think
Inception was a similar experience. I mean,
I think Inception was way more clear. I think it was way more or less confusing.
I was lost on Inception the first time I watched it, but then the second time I completely understood it with the dream.
Yeah, that's probably my most rewatched movie during quarantine. I've seen Inception a lot. It's my posters back there. Posters back there, and I really just absolutely you got your Tenet posters. Nice. Man, I really love Inception. I love Christopher Nolan as a filmmaker, but I think this one he's been really great about not being self-indulgent, but I think this kind of teetered on that line a little bit of him being, oh, look at me, I could really do some cool things with time, and it bugged me a little bit, and I just think that, like I said, unnecessarily confusing. The actual, like, there'd be in conversations like him and I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it, but there'd be a conversation and you see that guy, the main star from the movie Yesterday, that Beatles movie. I can't remember the actor's name.
I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, but he just shows up and you're like, who the heck's this guy? And they don't explain it. So he's just a dude that works for the thing. And then the first time you meet Robert Pattinson's character, they go on a little mission and you're like, I have no idea what this mission is. Like, what are they doing? It just felt very...
The algorithm? That's what I
don't know. I have no idea what the algorithm is.
Well, we talk about the YouTube algorithm all the time.
The MacGuffin plot line and the actual item that they carry to get stuff. I was lost. And like I said, unnecessarily confusing. This is stuff that shouldn't have no business being confusing. All the time stuff, be confusing. I don't care. That's just what happens because of how humans interpret time. When you are presenting that in a movie, inherently it's going to be confusing. But what are characters' motivations? That's stuff that Christopher Nolan's too good of a filmmaker to botch so poorly in the movie. So I've talked about Tenet enough. I have a whole hour and a half long discussion.
Yeah, and Mulan, I know you didn't like at all.
I liked Mulan even less. Mulan I thought was a terrible movie. I thought it was one of the worst Disney live action remakes. And I thought the first. I'm glad you disagreed though. I'm glad you liked it, man. I really am. I thought it was. First of all, the first half was incredibly boring, which you said in your review.
I agree.
You think it was boring, yeah. So I thought it was boring. I thought the actress that I can't pronounce her name, so I apologize. The actress that played Mulan was incredibly wooden and stale, in my opinion. I just didn't feel for her. And then inherently, the way that they tell a story like Mulan, it's just the animation in that 1998 film is so beautiful and sweeping. And you see that journey when she decides that she's going to fight in this war. It's just so beautiful. And then I feel like the message of the movie is terrible because they change it up to where instead of Mulan and you hinted at this in your review as well, and so did I. In the first Mulan movie, she is a normal girl, has to train and prove herself, and then proves that she is a great warrior. And it tells men and women, but women in particular, that you can do something if you work hard. You're just as capable as men, because that was the message in that movie. Here, she's already has this secret like power that she already has to suppress, and the only choice that she has to make is to not suppress that power anymore, and finally unleash it and show it to the world and become the great warrior that she kind of already was. So I think it just tells women and men and women that you have to have some sort of gift to accomplish things, and there's no grind and work hard. So that was like the thing that bothered me the most. But then also a thing that was super frustrating with that movie is somehow, how is Mulan, the 1998 animated movie, rated G? The new one's rated PG-13, and I was so much more creeped out by the villain in that movie and the score and just the stakes and how dark certain aspects, when they lose a battle, it feels so visceral and brutal and heartbreaking. And in this PG-13 version, not only do they lack all the fun with the no Mushu, no music, and not having the fun stuff that you did have in the G-rated movie. So that G-rated movie was also light in tone while also balancing dark elements. This movie, okay, we're going to be serious. We're going to have a PG-13 movie. And the villains I couldn't take seriously because they're dressed silly and they're saying weird things. So it just doesn't translate well to live action. So it's just funny how a G-rated movie that I saw when I was a kid and now I'm an adult and I'm still watching it is so much more creepy than the villains in the PG-13 film. And I think that's sad. I think that was one of my biggest negatives as well. I did not like it. I thought it was awful. It was awful.
Well, for me, I found the villain in the first 1998 Mulan forgettable. I can't even remember the guy's name.
See, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was intimidating, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, the villains in both are very forgettable. I agree with that. For this one, I feel like they were trying their best, to make it completely different from the Disney one, because I felt like a Jungle Book type of effect, where the Jungle Book 2016 was more the Rudyard Kipling novel mixed with the Disney. And then with this Mulan, it's focused more on the legend of Mulan than the Disney. And I actually like that they took out Mushu. I thought Mushu would have completely ruined this movie.
No, yeah. They can't. It wouldn't translate. But I'm saying then don't do it at all is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought the Mulan, in certain aspects, the acting was wooden, but I love the warrior mentality that Mulan was from beginning to end, seeing growing up as a kid, running around chasing chickens and discovering that she has an ability and her parents don't see that. They transferred that with the Disney version really well. And it's her growing up and showing that power that she's been afraid to show ever since she was a little girl. And so that's how I felt like it was different from the animated one, where the animated one, she trains to become that warrior. And I just love the differences in both versions. The action was great, beautiful. Some of the CGI effects weren't perfect, but I really loved how this film wasn't a shot-for-shot remake. And
I definitely respect that aspect, but at the same time, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna say this. I think Aladdin's the best in live action remake we got in like the modern era. The Jungle Book's really great too, but I think the Aladdin, what it did so well was it was pretty similar to the movie, had its different touch, and it's the only, in my opinion, maybe Jungle Book has had it, but the one that it's most notable to me. I wasn't a big fan of the Jungle Book animated movie. Not that I don't like it. I'm not like as big of a fan as I was with Aladdin. So it's just with the live action movie, if they make creative decisions that were different, I just didn't even notice it. But Aladdin, I feel like it's the only one that actually improved. It's not better than the animated movie, but it actually improved upon some things where actually the character of Jasmine is actually much better. She's given more to do. She's getting involved in politics and being her own woman, is having like a powerful arc to her character. So I thought there was things about that movie that actually improved upon things, where I think Mulan is not better. This version of Mulan is like not nearly as good as the animated movie, which it was never going to be, which I don't know why we're even making it. That's my point, is like I've given up at this point. This one is officially, like, after Lion King 2, that was a huge disappointment. It's just like I don't want to see these movies anymore. It's just a waste of time. And you paid $30 to see the same movie. How does that feel?
Well, we pay $30 to see Mulan. But anyway, so our reviews are on the channel. Go check them out. I think we both did a great job on them.
Yeah. I really loved your review. I commented and everything, and I was happy for you. I really was.
So anyway, we had a trailer come out this week, Colin. No Time to Die had a trailer come out. I thought it was great. Looks really good, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much thoughts on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good action movie. I still need to see the rest of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, but yeah, it's not like typically a franchise I'm like, really super connected to. So a lot of the, I'm sure, fan service or callbacks or whatever that they were alluding to in the trailer, I just like, I wouldn't notice those, but it was fine. I looked fun. I'm looking forward to seeing it eventually if it ever comes out.
So, I mean, I got to get into the rest of the Bond movies as well. It seems like it's harkening a lot of Skyfall mixed with Spectre, mixed with Casino Royale, all into one. Ana de Armas.
We're just gonna forget Quantum with Silas or whatever.
Yeah, Ana de Armas. My God, marry me.
Yeah, I wanna get that Funko Pop of her from the Bond movie. That looks cool.
And then Rami Malek as the villain too. That'll be cool to see. So yeah, the trailer was great. Can't wait to see this movie. If hopefully it doesn't get delayed till next year.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Apparently, Tenet crossed 100 million.
It did, cool. Yeah. I checked that out on Discussing Film. Like, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, internationally, but
internationally,
still, yeah. They'll probably end up breaking even, or maybe even losing a little bit of money, but better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully it does make its money back.
Yeah, hopefully it makes its money back.
Yeah, so that's our quick thoughts on the No Time to Die trailer. So we got 2 actors that tested positive for COVID-19, starting with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Black Adam. He and his entire family.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. It sucks. I watched his interview on Good Morning America. It's happy that they're sequestered right now. He left with a very simple message: protect your family, wash your hands, social distance, do anything possible, wear a mask, all that. It's just rough, but they're staying positive and quarantining themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and hope he does okay. He'll probably be fine. It's got a really this disease got a really high survival rate with people with good immune systems and stuff. So I hope he does okay. I think we all do. It's unfortunate, but him and his kids and his wife, all that stuff, hope they're okay.
Yep, and then Robert Pattinson himself, the Batman.
I like that shirt. Where'd you get that?
Amazon. $25.
No, that's not bad.
So yeah, Robert Pattinson tested positive for COVID-19, but another Discussing Film tweet, they said the Batman was shut down. Matt Reeves said they are shooting scenes without Robert Pattinson right now as much as they can, using like body stunts or something like that. So they're continuing filming without Robert Pattinson. But this is hopefully this doesn't halt on the release date for Batman. I don't think it will. I think Pattinson will be back. Nothing really to worry about. I just hope he's all right.
I think it was. Well, I saw that someone got COVID-19, and then later it was Pattinson gotten it. And I saw that tweet like as soon as like it happened, like as soon as they sent it out, pretty much. So I was immediately. I went on Griffin's live stream and commented like, "Did you guys see that he got COVID-19?" Robert Pattinson did, and a bunch of like the fans that were on the chat were like commenting like, "Oh crap!" Like didn't know. So I was like somewhat of breaking news for the fans of Griffin Schiller. So you're welcome, Griffin. I had Griffin on the stream yesterday, so I should have told him that. But
that's right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. I mean, again, I'm sure he'll be okay. I wonder if they could just start shooting the scenes that Batman's not in it. If you think about it.
Yeah, Matt Reeves said they are shooting his scenes without him right now, trying to get as much done as possible. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We hope Pattinson's all right.
Because the shooting is the big thing. Once you shoot the movie, that's like, okay, let's just get this done, and then you got to social distance and take the precautions. But once you're in post production, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, all the actors away, a lot of the cameramen and stuff. It's just him and the editors, so to speak, in a room, and they can take the necessary precautions and stuff.
And you're at home too, and you can do this on a computer. So
yeah, they can edit it. I'm still
mind blown that they filmed 25% of this movie for that.
Yeah, I wonder. And it's interesting. You always assume like if you don't talk to other movie fans, if you don't talk to people who aren't like big movie fans, they'll just assume that the first scene that you shoot in a movie is the first scene that you see in the script. But they'll shoot random scenes. I know that the Russo brothers said that the first scene that they shot in The Winter Soldier was the elevator scene.
No.
which is interesting. I thought that's really cool. Is like you would think they'd just do the opening scene. Why not? But nope, they just choose, and I guess it works out with people's schedules and stuff too. And
Yeah, and the Avengers premiere night, they shot the shawarma end credit scene like the day of the premiere.
oh, really? Yeah, that's cool.
They got that, so that's a fun fact. But yeah, we're excited to see the Batman regardless, dude. Hope Pattinson's all right and comes back.
He'll be okay, but
Yeah.
hopefully he's a fast recovery.
Yeah. So, Mandalorian Season 2 just got announced this week. Coming out October 30th, day before Halloween. So, Halloween weekend, we're going to get Mandalorian Season 2. That's when you'll see me and Colin's episode series review that we're going to be doing throughout all of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. We're going to have guests on. I think we'll do it as part of the podcast, Colin. Or, I don't know, we'll do it as separate videos on our channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was definitely gonna try and do it on my channel for sure, like a live spoiler
or your channel. Yeah. Basically, I don't know how many episodes it will be. Probably 8 again. We'll just have random guests on and just talk spoilers about the episode. What we hope for episode 2. So, I mean, yeah, Mandalorian Season 2. We all loved the first season. It came as a big surprise. Loved it. Jon Favreau directing it. Different directors directing each episode. The Mandalorian, all the characters.
Directing an episode or something like that.
What was it? What? Peyton Reed?
Yeah, I think Peyton Reed's directing a couple episodes.
Yeah, introducing Baby Yoda, and it'll be very awesome. I can't wait for the trailer, which I think we'll get it very soon. Very soon.
Yeah, you have to soon because they got to start marketing. It's in like 2 months essentially. It's the beginning of September right now, and it comes out in the end of October. So, yeah, definitely build it up. Disney's marketing will be no problem. Everyone's a big. I work at a middle school. Like this is the target audience. Like these kids love Star Wars, and when it was going on last year, every single Monday or maybe even Friday, if they woke up, have you seen the new Mandalorian episode yet? Like it was. It was a big deal, and I remember talking to this one kid last year, and he's talking about Mandalorian, and I was like, he was like spoiling it. And I was like, hey, well, like not everyone's seeing it. It was like the end of class, and I was like, not everyone's seeing it. He's like, everyone's seen the Mandalorian. I was like, yeah, you're kind of right. Like everyone's seen the show. Like everyone was talking about everyone like every single Monday was like, you see the Mandalorian? Like it was a big deal.
See the Mandalorian.
Yeah, the kids were pumped. That all the girls love everyone loved Baby Yoda. No one doesn't love Baby Yoda.
The thing is, the guys started watching Mandalorian. Then after episode 1, Baby Yoda, that's when the girlfriends jumped on.
Yeah, I was talking to this one girl, and she was saying, she doesn't like Star Wars. She thinks Star Wars is boring. I was talking to her. It was really sad. I was like, oh my god, she doesn't like Star Wars.
I have a brother that thinks the same thing.
Yeah, so she didn't like. She doesn't like Star Wars. She thinks it's boring. And then I showed her my Baby Yoda thing, and she's like, "Oh, I love Baby Yoda." I was like, "Whoa! You cannot like Baby Yoda and not like Star Wars. What is wrong?"
Yeah, that's a law. You can't. You can't.
She can. I mean, you can like Baby Yoda if you want. It's okay. But I judged her really hard, and I'm gonna tell her I shouted her out on the podcast. So
that's your shout out.
That's my shout out.
Yeah. So teaser trailer. I don't know how long it'll be, but what are you hoping to see?
You know me with my answers on this. I always say I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you hope to see Ahsoka? Like a final shot of her.
Yeah, I would say, maybe some sort of like one of those post-credit scenes you see in a trailer where it shows like the title card and then it shows after. Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, like I said, I'm already gonna see it. So when I say I don't care, I don't mean I don't care. I mean I essentially mean that they could do whatever they want and I'd probably be satisfied. It's a very low chance that I'm not gonna like the trailer, and they don't have to impress me anymore.
You don't have to impress me. I'm gonna watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so I don't care. Like,
yeah, I don't care. Yeah, we're excited for Mandalorian season 2.
What is that line from? I don't care. Oh, that's
Civil War, Black Panther.
I don't care.
So Dune. We're getting a trailer this week, September 9th.
I already saw the trailer.
No, that's the sneak peek.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah. All right.
The
Well,
actual,
I saw whatever I saw. Yeah.
yeah, if you saw Tenet in IMAX, certain theaters got to see the sneak peek. I did. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah, I cannot wait for that trailer and the images too. Did you see the images too?
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Looks great. This is my bold prediction. I think Dune's gonna sweep the Oscars this year. Like, just give them all the Oscars. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. That's another thing about Tenet. I don't think it's going to be the Oscar favorite that we thought we would, except for the score.
Ludwig, yeah.
Yeah, but then who knows what the score is going to be from Hans Zimmer and Dune? It might be even more epic, you know.
Yeah, and Hans Zimmer's got 3 scores. Dune, No Time to Die. I think what was the other one? Griffin.
Man of Steel 2. That's coming out later this year. Just kidding.
Griffin said he was doing another one. I don't remember.
Griffin's fake news.
Griffin's fake news episode title. Yeah, Dune. The trailer's going to be over 3 minutes long, from what I heard. So that gets me pumped already. It's Denis Villeneuve. This is my most anticipated film for the year, easily. I can't wait to see the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait, man. But did you get to see the sneak peek in your screening?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people didn't.
Yeah, some people didn't. I know somebody didn't get to see it.
Jaren.
Jaren?
Yeah, he didn't get to see it.
I was like, oh my god, I can't.
It didn't do much for me in like a bad. It just was like I didn't see much. You know, it was just like shots of. It was good. Like I don't like dislike it or anything. It was like a good. I just want to see a full on trailer. That was just kind of like images or
just lots of Chalamet.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna be the main character. I didn't really know
he is I forgot the main character's name, but I can't wait.
I didn't realize he was the main character. Did you realize that he was in Interstellar? I kind of forgot he was in that movie.
Yeah.
I always forget he's in that movie.
So when I watched Call Me By Your Name, that's when I first recognized Timothée Chalamet. Then I saw him in a photo of Interstellar. I'm like, he was in Interstellar? Christopher Nolan?
First movie I recognized him in, I think, was I remember seeing him for the first time. I mean, I saw him in Interstellar, but like I was like, okay, I've seen this guy before, and I kind of put him as that more of a household name as Lady Bird.
Lady Bird, yeah. He was the crush guy.
He has this line in it where he asked Saoirse Ronan's character, do you have a phone? And she said no, and he says, good girl, and he said it like kind of like a sexy way according to girls. So I saw this video of that video being played, and it was like good girl, and then a girl like threw her phone because she like thought he was like she like thought he was super hot saying that, so she just threw her phone.
Girls
I was like,
are thirsty over Chalamet.
Dude, like my ex-girlfriend was that was my sole competition was Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, he's just girls are thirsty over Chalamet. So
yeah.
All right, so that does it for the movie news, Colin. Like I said, very short and sweet to the point. So I figure we just get right into the Culture Project up next. So you guys know what we do for the Culture Project. We pick movies, me and Colin, movies that we haven't seen yet. If they're really well known that we haven't seen, or genres we're not strong in, then we pick movies there. And last week, Colin chose for me to watch Dead Poets Society, and I picked for Colin to watch Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. So I will go first.
Okay.
And give my thoughts on Dead Poets Society. Let me just say, I was really avoiding this movie. I didn't know much about it. You told me it was about a teacher taking on these group of boys. And so what did I think of Dead Poets Society? I gotta say, I really liked it.
Good.
I really liked it. Robin Williams, really great in there. It's very dramatic, a really dramatic film. I know a lot of people haven't seen Dead Poets Society that I know of, so I highly recommend it. It's very underrated. There's a lot of great messages to it. There isn't a lot of, I don't want to spoil it because in case people haven't seen it. It's basically this teacher comes in and just teaches them poetry, and it's got some really iconic lines like "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And Carpe Diem, seize the day, 2 iconic Robin Williams quotes, and really tragic stuff that goes on in this movie, especially one scene, bruh.
Bro,
My God.
it's so sad. It's so sad, dude. It's like one of the most sad scenes. It's so sad. Dude.
But Ethan Hawke too, really young in there, give a great performance. I was just really mesmerized with this movie that I haven't seen it. So if you love Robin Williams and if you love just dramatic films as well as great coming of age movies, then definitely watch Dead Poets Society.
That's what I love about, like the opposite movie of Dead Poets Society is Whiplash. It's like the exact opposite. Like you have a super inspiring teacher who just teaches these kids great like life lessons, and he's this warm and fuzzy guy like Robin Williams, and then Whiplash is just this guy that's the biggest asshole ever, trying to
teaches them life lessons.
Yeah, and so I mean, I think Whiplash is the better movie, but I mean, Dead Poets Society is so and I think you can understand why I like it so much.
Yeah,
too,
you resonate with it.
I resonate with it. So, what would be your grade?
My grade.
Did you have any issues with the film at all?
I felt it was a little too long. I felt like it overstayed.
I feel the same a little. I feel like it does too.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that long. I'd probably go A-. Okay. I would have A-. It's definitely a really good movie. You guys should check out. Very underrated. I agree.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that one scene, dude, it's so sad. All right, my turn. I saw Die Hard. This is
Die Hard. No, never heard of that movie.
Yeah, never heard of it. I actually, funny enough, I saw like the first like 20 minutes. And then as I was watching the movie, I realized I saw more than I thought I did. So maybe I saw more like the first like 40. But it's an interesting film to me because straightforward action movies typically aren't my thing. I like action movies in the sense that like comic book action movies or like sci-fi action movies or something like that, but like straightforward schlocky action movies, which this isn't too schlocky, but straightforward action movies typically aren't my thing. They're a little just overly simplistic for me, but I think this is a really good exception. I think this is one of the better ones I've seen, those straightforward action movies. Really enjoyed this movie. I thought it kind of proves in the filmmaking process that you don't always have to have this overarching theme or message to everything. It's just a straightforward, simple premise with great characters, an amazing villain, fun action, and it's well directed. Like the writing isn't like amazing because it's like it's so simple, but it's the directing is very I don't know, the way the shots, they hint things pretty well where he's like taking off his shoes and and it's just an interesting concept where you have like pretty much just this average cop, has marriage issues, hasn't seen his kids in a while. He lives in New York. They live in California. Afraid of flying. It's on Christmas and he's got no shoes on and these terrorists come and he has to save the day. And they just work it to almost perfection for what they're going for. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed it. It was a fun action movie, and I really dug it.
Oh man, what's his name?
So I would give it a B+.
Argyle. What did you think of Argyle, the cab driver?
Oh, he was like the funniest part of the movie. He was like that part when he was like, oh, please tell me you heard the gunshots and are calling, and you see him in the thing talking to people, and he's like got listening to rap music, and he's like drinking. And then he saved the day at the end too, if you think about it. Yeah. And I knew that was going to happen. I will say maybe a little bit was predictable. I was like, okay, they keep going back to him because if he wasn't an important character, they just would have dropped him off. And like we would have never seen him again, but they smartly kept him in the movie, and then he kind of saved the day at the end. And I to be honest, I had no interest in seeing the sequels, none, because I thought I don't want it to ruin this movie. Yeah, I think this movie is so solid. I don't need
the second one is okay. The third one is actually just as good as the first one, if you were to ask me, because it's got Jeremy Irons as Hans Gruber's brother, and there's Simon. Simon didn't say. I highly recommend Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's the third one. The fourth one is okay, kind of on par with the second one, and then the fifth one is one of the worst movies ever.
Actually, I don't know that. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that A Good Day to Die Hard. That we don't even call that a Die Hard movie. That can die.
I just love how it's just a simple premise, executed nicely. Like I said, I as I've realized this about myself when I review movies, I'm not. Like, I like action movies, but I don't like just straightforward, simple action movies. I need a good story. I mean, Mad Max Fury Road's a good example, obviously, but Extraction's a good example. I just like a little bit more story, but for some reason, I think this one gave me enough there for the characters that I think I really dug it. I would give it I'd give it a B+.
Also, yeah. So my thoughts on Die Hard. I mean, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite action movies of all time. I watch it every Christmas. Well, Colin, is this a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie. I consider. I mean, my favorite Christmas movie of all time is probably Iron Man 3. I'm just gonna
really what?
Because it's a
Iron
Christmas
Man
movie.
3 is Colin's favorite Christmas.
It's a Christmas movie, is it not?
Yeah.
Is it not a Christmas movie?
It is.
It takes place at Christmas.
It's a Wonderful Life.
I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, so.
Culture project for Christmas. Yep,
but,
that's definitely happening.
No, I like Iron Man 3. I like A Christmas Story. That's the classic. You're gonna knock your eye out, or whatever it says.
Shoot your eye out.
Shoot your eye out. Yeah. I mean, I saw that a bunch. I like Grinch. I like Elf. Santa Claus. I mean, Home Alone's probably the best. But I mean, Die Hard it's a Christmas movie. I think
Die Hard, it's just a simple movie, like you said. We have a character, John McClane. We know everything about this guy the first 20 minutes of the movie. Yeah. He's afraid of flying. He has marriage issues. He's going to LA to visit his wife. They're having a Christmas party. Then it gets rammed by terrorists. And then Hans Gruber, we know everything about him. He wants to break into the vault, get the money, and in motivations, like, you already know the story very well.
I also like the first guy that John McClane kills is the terrorist is a brother to somebody else. So there's some motivation. There's some motivation for the villains as well. And I like how John made mistakes throughout the movie too. Like he's not perfect, and he would make those mistakes. Like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. But he's not like he didn't go in there like John. He didn't go in there like John Wick, boom, 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 and just kill everybody right away. He had to
He's very smart. Yeah,
he had to finesse his way to do this. Like
the guy went barefoot in glass. Shoot the glass.
Yeah, I
love the quotes from.
I was gonna say I like the city cop that comes in, the LAPD cop that. That comes in, he's eating a bunch of Twinkies, and then
his car gets destroyed.
Yeah, and he was a fun part. I mean, there was good characters. There really was.
And Hans Gruber, very iconic villain. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! And then he finds I found machine gun. Ho 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 ho! Just very iconic lines. And I just love the banters between Hans Gruber and John McClane. The yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! All the iconic lines. And the cat and mouse situations in here. And just John McClane having his radio conversations with that cop, just saying, is my wife all right? And all that. Is everything okay? Because this is all he has is a walkie-talkie to talk to people. And it's just very well executed action film.
He kills the guy and he's like, I have a machine gun now, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, I just said that. Ho, 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 ho. It's just very iconic. Very iconic. So, yeah, that was our thoughts on the movies we watched. So now, Colin, what's your movie for me this week?
I've talked about this movie quite a bit. It's a foreign film. I think it's my favorite foreign film of all time. I believe, don't quote me on this. I think it's on the IMDb top 15. City of God.
City of God.
Yeah. I talked about it. I know your good friend Jay Vaders loves that movie as well. I saw it I took a class in college and we watched it. I think it's perfect in basically every imaginable way. It felt like the director was showing off, but in a good way. Like, look what I can do. It's a coming of age movie. It's a gangster movie. It's a crime movie. It's everything. It's a biopic. It's a true story. It's everything. It's literally everything. It's such a good movie. If I would just recommend, like, hey, we want to see a family with the movie with the family today. All my kids are over the age of 17 years old, and let's see something kind of for everyone. City of God. It's got everything. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's dark. He balanced all these, kind of like Parasite did. He balanced all these tones so masterfully. I think it's my favorite foreign movie of all time.
All right, so since you picked a foreign movie for me, I will pick a foreign movie for you this week. Train to Busan.
Oh, is it? I thought you were gonna say Spirited Away.
No, Train to Busan.
What is Train to Busan? What is that?
It's on Netflix. The sequel came out most recently.
Let me look.
It's a Korean zombie film. But it's much more than a zombie movie. It's
How do you spell
really
it? Train to
just Train to
Busan. Okay.
Busa. It's a South Korean zombie film. It's about a family. A father going through a divorce, taking his daughter to go see her mother on her birthday.
Were you planning to pick that for me, or just because I picked a foreign film?
I had a different one, but since you picked a foreign movie,
what was the pick? What was the pick?
Oh, I picked The Accountant, but that's fine.
Yeah, The Accountant I'll definitely watch eventually. You don't even have to recommend.
So Train to Busan, that movie's excellent, dude. That might be my second favorite foreign film behind Parasite. I was just blown away by it. I watched it for the first time recently. Just the filmmaking of that movie, and just like you said with City of God, the director of that movie was showing off by how much he knew. Like, there's one incredible jaw-dropping film sequence involving a bunch of zombies. You will be like,
do you know if speaking of these just foreign films, do you know if Parasite was shot on digital or film?
I don't know that. I'll have to check up on
it was probably shot on yeah, it was probably shot on film, but still.
Cool. Probably shot that. I freaking love that man, just watching him talk in his interviews, Bong Joon-ho. But yeah, Train to Busan, it's on Netflix. Definitely watch it.
Thank you. Good picks.
All right, so now let's do fan questions. Thank you guys so much for.
We didn't read any of the fan questions. I'm interested to see what we got.
We'll start with the Instagram questions first. First, from this one, would you like to see a remade Tupac biopic? Oh, I remember the first Tupac biopic was awful. All Eyes on Me. I didn't even see that movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
I heard it was really bad.
I mean, would I be against? I'm indifferent on it. I mean, like a music biopic I really enjoy is Straight Outta Compton.
Oh yeah, I love Straight Outta Compton too.
So we're talking about, and then another one. This is kind of fictionalized, but 8 Mile, the Eminem story. I don't know if you've seen that. That one's great. But yeah, I mean, no, I'm kind of indifferent. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. If you get a good director, get a great story, then maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so this is a spoiler question. Favorite scene from Tenet? If you haven't seen Tenet, click off. We'll just say...
Skip like 30 seconds away.
Skip about 30 seconds. We're going to spoil our favorite scene from Tenet. My favorite scene from Tenet is the prologue, like the first 10 minutes of the movie. The opera, the band, the orchestra, basically. It's the same we saw from Rise of Skywalker. Just that whole entire prologue, I was just blown away by the breathtaking filmmaking that was on screen. Even though I saw it from Rise of Skywalker.
I never saw it, but I never saw it in Rise of Skywalker before.
Even though I completely forgot. I remember it was the orchestra playing. Just Ludwig. Somebody corrected me how to say Ludwig Göransson's name, but Ludwig Göransson. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, but his score is just mind-blowing, dude. Rainy City in Tallinn. I think that score is just incredible. Like, you see John David Washington, all the cops coming in, evacuating the scene, diffusing bombs. It's just excellent. One of my favorite Nolan openings.
My favorite scene is when you find out that John David Washington was fighting himself.
Yeah.
So they go back and he's doing it the second time. And you see him bleeding first, so you know something's about to happen. So I enjoyed that scene.
I did not see that coming, so that was great.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, so now we're done talking spoilers for Tenet. All right. Shashank asked, favorite action scene from the Mission Impossible franchise? For me, it's a tie. It's Fallout, pretty much. The helicopter scene and the bathroom fight. I mean, both of those are the best. I mean, yeah,
I haven't seen these movies enough. Like, it's not a franchise that I don't like at all. I actually, every single movie I've seen, I like, but I don't know if I've even seen all of them. I kind of just have seen every, I don't know. One that's coming out to me for some reason, I believe it's Rogue Nation when Tom Cruise has to go in the water.
Oh yeah, the underwater.
That scene was dope. That scene was
really great.
Dope.
Dope. So for me, it's Fallout, the helicopter scene, I've talked to death about it. It's some of the best practical effects I've seen this past decade. Tom Cruise actually hanging out of a helicopter and getting on the helicopter, just mind-blowing. Reminded me of Spectre, but way more longer and epic. And then the bathroom fight. I mean, with Henry Cavill and them, they took a month to film that whole entire fight sequence. You got them breaking glass, fighting that Korean dude who was beating the hell out of them, and then hitting him with a laptop. It's awesome. All right, so now let's go to YouTube. YouTube questions. Let's pull those up. First one. Ethan Reuter. What's your favorite movie starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Acting wise, I would go with Gridiron Gang. Have you seen Gridiron Gang?
Mm-mm.
All right, so I'll add that to the culture project. Gridiron Gang. It's a football movie. Exhibit plays the. Do you know who Exhibit is? He's another rapper. Yeah. He plays the other football coach in the movie, but they basically take on a bunch of kids who are into gangs and drugs and stuff, and they have to coach them as a football team. So it's kind of like Remember the Titans, but it's really good. That would be mine. Gridiron Gang.
I'll go Fast 5.
Yeah, he's just Hobbs. He was a badass.
Furious 7, he's in that, but not in very much.
I missed that. I missed that Hobbs in Fast 5. Zachary, what has been your favorite movie you watched the first time during quarantine? So what was a movie that you loved watching for the first time in quarantine?
It's up there. I've seen a bunch of movies the first time this year. I saw Jurassic Park for the first time. I saw Jaws for the first time. I saw When Harry Met Sally, and what's the horror movie? Peel. Get Out.
Get Out.
Yeah. So those are the 4.
The Shining.
I don't know if I'd go The Shining. I mean, I like The Shining a lot. I love The Shining, but I would say those are the 4 that I watched. But I think out of those 4, oh my god. Oh my god. I mean, Jurassic Park's so iconic and so good. Get Out is one of the best movie experiences I've ever had. Oh my god, I love Get Out so much. I mean, I'll go When Harry Met Sally. It means the most to me. I mean, that movie's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time, and I saw it this year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, Casablanca, Godfather 1 and 2. Yeah, just a lot of classic movies I watched for the first time that came out in the 70s and the 40s. What was another one I watched that you picked for me? Dope. What was another one? Florida Project.
Zodiac you really like. So.
Oh, Zodiac. Yeah.
That's probably might be your pick. You love that.
I'll probably go Zodiac. I mean, that movie was just fantastic, bro. And yeah, The Godfather too. So, deep into the film score. What's your favorite performance from Bill Paxton? Favorite performance from Bill Paxton? That's tough. I got to check his filmography.
Yeah. Can you list off some of his films?
Let's see here. Bill Paxton films. So he was in Apollo 13, Aliens, Titanic, The Terminator, Nightcrawler, Edge of Tomorrow. Honestly, I'll go with Nightcrawler. He was one of the other Nightcrawling rivalries.
Yeah, Nightcrawler.
He was funny in that, and in Edge of Tomorrow too. I'll probably go with those 2.
Yeah, I'll go with that one. Sorry, my dad was texting me, so I was...
No worries. This one. What movie has affected you the most? Good and bad. A good and bad movie that has affected us the most. Probably Bad Emoji Movie. That was one of the worst theater experiences ever in my life. Why? Because I paid money to see it, and I had to sit through the whole thing.
Yeah, bad for me is Grown Ups 2, which I'll mention later in the episode. That movie is a disgrace against any person with a brain cell. Yes, sir. What do you have to say?
Wait, 9 Lives.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that movie?
Yeah, it's like a cat movie.
I'm
or
putting
something.
that in the culture project. I had to I have to throw a bad movie in the culture project. You're gonna watch 9 Lives at one point.
I almost
like,
thought about putting that.
Oh my god, dude.
Okay, then if that's the case, I'm gonna make you watch Downsizing.
Okay, we'll make us watch one bad movie as part of the
Downsizing. We should have a bad movie week next week.
Yeah, next week. So I'll add in the 9 Lives for your bad movie.
And then I'll downsize it for you. But for good one,
that movie is an experience, bro. I'll just say that.
For good experience for me, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, that impacted me so heavily in my life.
Oh, good, and Whiplash for me. Me being a drummer, seeing what the film actually was. I didn't know it was about drumming, but it was much more than drumming. It was about a character that was being pushed to the absolute extreme limit to succeed, and it was just powerful. Just love that movie.
I love how both of our like kind of most impactful movies, it's like makes sense because yours is about drumming. Paul Rudd was a teacher in that, and it kind of really affected me too.
Yeah, and Winter Soldier too. It started my love for talking movies on YouTube. So if it wasn't for Winter Soldier, I wouldn't.
That's interesting. I would say, 2014 was a good year for me. I think Gone Girl and Nightcrawler came out that year, and it was really helped me get into movies even more. Wolf of Wall Street was a big part in that. And then when you look at movies in 2016, I think Manchester by the Sea really just shattered my heart into a million pieces.
All right, and last question from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame fan. Favorite moment in a bad movie? I guess you got to go with The Room. Tommy Wiseau.
You know what I noticed about you, Ryan? I think it's a Massachusetts thing, but instead of saying room, like I say room, you say rum. Did you ever notice that?
What?
You say the room.
The rum.
Yeah, you say you say the room. You say it like more of a U sound. Say it again.
The rum.
Yeah, you say rum, like rum, like
rum.
Yeah, so I say room.
Yeah,
exactly. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah,
you can tell the difference.
I mean,
it's interesting though. You know what's funny about me is I live in the South, right? I live in Florida, so I don't know if you guys say. Do you ever guys say y'all? Do you ever say y'all?
I say it as a joke, but no.
Okay. So when I'm on the internet and I'm like doing live streams with people, I try not to say y'all because it tells immediately people where I'm from. Because if I just say, oh, you guys. Because if I said y'all is a short for you and all. So I was like, I'm always embarrassed to say y'all because I know people make fun of me. But it's like, dude, it's y'all, bro. It's just this is what you say. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the question.
No worries. He also said, which movie's better, The Dark Knight Rises or Man of Steel? I guess I'm gonna go Dark Knight Rises.
Really? That's interesting.
I mean, Man of Steel is excellent. I think that movie's a masterpiece. That's my favorite Superman movie easily. But for The Dark Knight Rises, I think people overlook that movie. I know it has plot holes, but I'm such a huge fan of the Dark Knight trilogy. And with Rises, it really took Batman in a different route that we haven't seen him. He's broken physically and mentally. He gets whooped by Bane, and then he has to rise again and become the Dark Knight. And I think that movie's excellent. Just everything about that movie, like the ending to the Dark Knight trilogy, it was a little too long, but it was just epic. Man of Steel, too. I mean, it takes Superman in a much more realistic way than what I wanted from the 78 version, and it was just grounded. Both are grounded.
Yeah, I would go. I actually don't even think it's close. I think Man of Steel is a much better movie than The Dark Knight Rises. I mean, no offense to The Dark Knight Rises. I love The Dark Knight Rises, but I think Man of Steel is just on a whole another level. In fact, though, I will say, interesting enough, if you had asked me like 2 years ago, I would have been like, no, it's no competition The Dark Knight Rises easily. But I think I just changed my opinion on both movies.
Oh, wait. You changed your opinion on both movies?
Yeah, not change my opinion. I hadn't seen Man of Steel in years, so when people said it was either hot garbage or a masterpiece, I never really had a take on it. And then I finally saw it, and I was like, okay, it's a masterpiece. Like, I'm on that side of the aisle. But before, I was kind of in the middle because I didn't really see it. But The Dark Knight Rises, I always loved, and then I recently saw it, and I still love it, but I can understand people's criticisms of it. Does that make sense? Whereas I legit don't understand.
We're how did Bruce Wayne get back to Gotham?
Well, I don't understand the people's problem with Man of Steel.
No, same. All right, so that is the fan questions. Thank you guys for submitting those awesome questions. All right, let's get to the top 5 list. Top 5 movies that grind our gears. So if you don't watch Family Guy, Peter Griffin had this segment in the show called "You Know What Really Grinds My Gears." That was my Peter Griffin impression. But anyway, movies that grind our gears, movies that make us angry, frustrated why that they were even made or why people love them. Basically, they're movies that grind our gears so much. Like, we just kind of have like these hatred for these movies. Like, we don't understand why people get into them or why they were even made. So that's basically a top 5. Just a random top 5 list. So, Colin, I don't have mine in a particular order. I just listed 5 movies, franchises that grind my gears.
Yeah, my number 1 was obviously Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
It infuriates me, and I don't even know. I don't even have to say anything about it. Everyone knows my opinion, and I'm so glad that I've been vocal about it because now I have an identity. You know, like when people like I'm on a live stream, like, "Oh, what's your hottest takes?" Everyone's like, "Okay, well, we all know Colin's is Mad Max Fury Road." Okay, so it's like it's become my thing. So yeah, Mad Max Fury Road is my number 1 for sure.
Yeah. I'll start off with a franchise that really grinds my gears, the 50 Shades trilogy. It's pretty obvious. I mean, these were based off of Twilight fan fiction novels. They took Twilight and just made fan fiction like sex nonsense out of them. You haven't seen these movies, right? Don't care to see them.
Yeah, I saw
You saw
one of them. I saw one of them. It wasn't the first one. It wasn't the first one. I know that. It was either the second or the third. It might have been the last one. I think it was the last one I saw because my girlfriend at the time really wanted to see it because she just makes great life choices. And we she knew it was bad. She knew it was bad. She was just we were bored. And that whole part when he gets in like a helicopter crash, but then like shows up or something.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What? These movies really grind my gears. Like, I really enjoy. I'll just say it. I really enjoy sex in movies, but the way they portray sex in these movies, it's like slavery. It's like punishment. I'm like, how can a movie this boring portray sex like? Oh my God, like the acting is just wooden. Thank God Dakota Johnson like is in better movies now than this. She's like the female version of Robert Pattinson, where she's now in better movies and a better actress. But yeah, these movies grind my gears so much. Like, why even make them? And I can't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go I'm cheating a little bit. I'm gonna go Disney live action remakes. There's a couple exceptions.
You'll see some.
There's a couple exceptions, but I think the Lion King and Mulan and Dumbo and others are just and like I'm not saying when I say they grind my gears, like some of them are good, but even the Lion, even though I like it, I'm glad it I guess to a certain extent it exists because I enjoyed it. It still grinds my gears because it shouldn't happen. We don't need them. So.
Yeah, they just make money and they just do it just for business perspectives. So yeah, I could definitely get why it grind your gears. You'll see something else later on. Next, the Transformers series. I mean, another predictable one. Ever since the beginning, I've never been the Transformers guy, even when I was a kid.
I grew up watching Transformers.
And even I didn't get the toys and all that. So watching Michael Bay's first Transformers movie, it was really cool, but the rest of the series just really grind my gears with how much of the same movie they have made these past 4 installments.
The military subplots, and then like
it's all the same formula.
Every single scene of the military subplots is them saying something really fast to each other, like handing each other a paper, and then they'll be like, say some like scene-ending like line, like, "Well, then get those damn shit to the bay" or something, like something. And then they just like music drops, and then they just go to the next scene.
Grinds my gears because it's the same movie. All of these installments, you get a main character, whether it's Shia LaBeouf or Mark Wahlberg. They basically have a profession that basic human beings have. They have a really hot ass girlfriend that is showing like eye candy galore. And
I didn't mind that when I was younger, though.
When I was younger. But
when the third one, when there's explosions going everywhere, and then his girlfriend,
Jason Statham's wife, just goes,
she's so hot, and like in the scene, and I remember being like, I don't know how old I was, but I was going, oh, like just like couldn't believe it.
And then the fourth one, Age of Extinction, she's like 18 or something. I'm like, oh my god.
I will say that's interesting. You picked that. I like the first 3 Transformers movies. I know the 2 and 3 are bad. Well, 3 is not that bad. 2 is bad, but I still enjoy it because you have to understand I grew up watching those movies, so it just didn't offend me as a lot of other people. Mm-hmm. So even though they're not great movies, I still like the first 3. But the fourth one is my pick, my next pick. It's A Crime Against Humanity. It's almost 3 hours long, and it's so boring. And Mark Wahlberg, I love the guy, but ever since he joined the franchise, it just got so bad. That's a movie that I hate with passion.
The Peter Berg movie's made up for it.
Yeah.
Why did they go to Tokyo? Anyway, so next
reasons. Because
next one, Boyhood. This Boyhood. This movie.
What?
This movie really grinds my gears. Bye, Colin.
I'm leaving.
This movie really grinds my gears. You know why? Because this movie got so many Oscar love. Like, it's the most boring coming-of-age story I've ever seen. And it's also almost 3 hours long. This is Richard Linklater's lifelong passion project. Like, it's just a kid growing up for 12 years. If you take the 12 years aspect out of it, it's nothing. Like, this movie was just so beyond praise to, like, God level. I'm like, this is God level? Like, this movie's not that great. It's just very forgettable. I don't remember a single thing about the movie besides Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette. But
I want to strangle you through the screen and make you. This movie is a masterpiece.
Colin wants to break my back like Bane. But yeah, this
You mean to tell me, Ryan, that the guy that made one of our favorite movies, School of Rock, is just going to make some dumpster fire like Boyhood? No, he is a genius and made this amazing movie, Boyhood. It took 12 years to make. You got to respect the craft, dude. You got to respect the craft.
But if you take the 12-year part out of it.
But it is in there. It existed.
That's why it got all the Oscar love.
No, it didn't, because it's actually really, yeah, whatever. Opinions are opinions.
Yeah, this movie grinds my gears. They hype it up to levels just because of the 12-year filmmaking.
It's okay to be wrong, Ryan. It's okay to be wrong.
So I didn't want to beat a dead horse. I didn't want to beat a dead horse and put Dunkirk and Birdman on here, but I had to put Boyhood on here because people overhype it. Like you, I'm just kidding. Saying like, oh, it's one of the greatest movies ever made. I don't know what you're talking about. Richard Linklater's a god. Hey, this movie grinds my gears, dude. What's your next one?
Grown Ups 2. I talked about it earlier. It's if you're a terrible person if you like this movie.
You're a terrible person if you like Grown Ups.
If you like it ironically, I'll take that. But if you genuinely think it's a funny movie, you're just a bad person, and that sucks. But it's so offensive. It's so offensive. Not offensive because it says mean. It's not racist or sexist or anything. It's offensive for making it. The movie treats the audience so dumb and has not even a smidge of good dialogue or comedy in it. It's all based on stupid gags with people farting and burping. There's a joke where Kevin James burps, farts, and sneezes in all in one at the same time, and everyone in the theater was laughing when I was there. I wanted to go to each and every single one of them and hit them with a freaking pan because I was like, "This isn't funny." They've got you hypnotized to like this movie, and you're just giving Adam Sandler this money for terrible reasons. Shout out to him for doing Uncut Gems because he finally didn't do a terrible movie. This movie is disgrace against mankind. I hate anybody who likes it. If you say you like it, I hate you.
I only know one person.
And by the way, guys, I'm joking. I don't actually hate you.
Yeah, don't take it seriously.
I'm being very, very, very sarcastic, and I don't think you're a terrible person. I'm just, it boils my blood.
I put that on Colin's business card. If you like grown-ups too, you're a terrible person. Or put it on your job resume. So the next movie that grinds my gears, I'm just going to go to the franchise. I already know you're going to hate it. The Fast and Furious franchise. So let me explain why. This grinds my gears. I didn't mind the street racing elements. I didn't mind like the Point Break isms in the first one. But once it got to the fourth or fifth one and it goes into superhero isms, it began to grind my gears. The physics of how they show it in all these movies, it's just like it grinds my gears that they put it in the film. It's entertaining. I get it. It grinds my gears in a good way. I'm just like, why? How do they add this in such level? Like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb, but it just grinds my gears to like, why? And the seventh movie, while I really enjoyed it, just every action scene when they're jumping out of cars, flipping cars, and taking tanks.
You just don't like family, okay? You just don't like family. Clearly, you have no heart. You have no heart. I don't
want family, but The Rock taking a cast out of his arm, I'm like, this grinds my gears, but I love it at the same time.
Okay, so it grinds your gears, but you still love it. So then
I still love it at the same time, though. But it frustrates me, but I love it. I don't get it. Like, we don't get movies like this. But
I have an announcement to make before you continue.
So yeah, the Fast and Furious, once they got into the superhero vibes, that's when it began to grind my gears, but in a good way, I guess.
Okay, well, just a shout out here. I just got a new subscriber, so I am 10 subs away from 1,000. So
yeah, I was gonna say that at the end. Let's get Colin to 1K subs by this week. I think that is definitely an attainable goal.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. So what's your next one? What's your number one?
Yeah, obviously it's Downsizing. This movie's and it makes me sad though because Alexander Payne directed one of my favorite movies, Election, and
Nebraska.
He did Nebraska, which I haven't seen actually. And it makes me sad because Downsizing is an awful movie. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Terrible movie theater experience. I was so mad. Movie it just grind it's offensively bad, but in like not in a whereas like Grown Ups 2, they didn't think the audience was dumb. Oh no, they did think the audience was dumb and they were treating us dumb. Downsizing almost treated us too smart in a sense because they just had these ideas that were so stupid. And in a certain aspect it was artistic and you could see where he was going with it, but he just failed so miserably. It's an awful movie. I can't wait to make you watch it because it's so bad.
Yeah, so this week we'll watch our foreign films, and then the next culture project will be bad movies. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, my number one, Lion King 2019. You talking about the Disney live-action remakes. This is the one that grinds my gears the most because it's my favorite Disney movie of all time. Just going in, I'm like, why are you even remaking this? Watching the trailer, it was pretty much shot for shot. The whole movie was shot for shot, basically, with no emotion to it at all. Many people praise, like, it's not that bad. I mean, the visuals are great. That's no denying the visuals are great. But it grinds my gears so much that they had the motivation to even do this. Jon Favreau, it's not his fault. I mean, he was just doing his job. But the movie grinds my gears so much that they just rehashed everything from the first movie, but just without the emotion. And it was just had an agenda just to make billions of dollars, just to get people invested in The Lion King. And I'm like, it's just very unnecessary. And it just grinds my gears so much that they even made the film.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was in denial when I first saw The Lion King remake. Like, there are certain parts about it where I was like, okay, I like this because it's got the music and stuff. But but then I completely was turned off when, as soon as he went, Mufasa dies, and then Simba's like, no.
The way he died was like, no. I'm like,
the animation, the actual effects were unbelievable, but it just has lacked.
And the lions too, like lions when they open their mouths is just weird. Like the emotions is not there. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's just really cringe.
Very cringe.
So those are 5 things that grind our gears in movie terms. So let us know in YouTube comments what movies or franchises really grind your gears. We'd love to hear that. So, Colin, let's close out with movie quote of the week. We made it an hour and 20 minutes, so great job. What's your movie quote, man?
I had something different, but since you're hating on Fast and Furious, I had to do one. This is the greatest quote I think of all time. The thing about street fights is the street always wins. Such a good quote. No, I'll have to say it like he does. The thing about street fights is the street always wins.
Street always wins.
And then it literally the street actually won it.
They added that in there, but I love it at the same time. It's so cringe, but I love it at the same time.
It's so good. It's so good. It's probably the greatest quote ever made.
So my quote is a Tenet quote. It's my favorite quote from the movie. Basically, John David Washington's like, why did it do that? Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
I hated that quote. The reason why.
That's basically for you.
Well, I hated the quote because there's no one telling us not to think about his freaking movie. It's like, why wouldn't we think about your movie? You know what I mean? It's like, people say that, like, don't think, feel. Like, I'm like, no. I'm going to think about
it and feel it.
No, I ain't going to try to understand it.
Yeah. So that's my quote. Thank you guys. That's it for episode 24 of the Fallen for Film podcast. Very short episode. Look forward to next week's episode. We'll definitely try to get a guest on for next week. We'll talk about some options. So Colin, yes, Colin is almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Can you believe that? Where was I at?
Dude,
got together. What were we at?
We were like 300 or something. Yeah, like 350. So dude, like, you made such a growth, dude. Like, you gotta be really proud of yourself.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think it'll be crazy, man. And once I get 1,000, I think I'm gonna start a Patreon. I think I want to come up with some new merch, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, man.
Anybody wants to be a Patreon supporter,
guys, let's get Colin a 1K. Yeah. Before we close out the show, Colin, what videos you got coming out this week? You can let the peeps know.
I kind of put on a hold on the MCU series, not because like Black Widow's getting delayed or anything, but just because I just don't like doing them. It's a chore because it's a lot of work to do a movie review every single week on retro reviews, which never do good on my channel anyway. And when I saw the numbers of the Doctor Strange review, which barely got 100 reviews, I just lost the inspiration to keep doing it. So I don't know if I'll continue. I might review the rest of them on like a live stream or something to make up for it. I don't know what I got coming on my channel. I've been wanting to rank the Star Wars movies because we're not going to get a Star Wars film in a while. So I've been wanting to do that. Maybe before Mandalorian drops, I can rank the Star Wars movies. That might be a good idea. But I don't know what I got coming on my channel. I'm going to play it by ear. But I did post some recent content, my Mulan review, my Tenet review, my Christopher Nolan ranking. And then my Tenet spoiler review, I had Griffin Schiller, I had Kalina, I had Hannah, and I had Sean Chandler on a big panel. We talked for about an hour and a half on open spoiler discussions, very podcast style. So check that one out. I think that's actually kind of helping me go over because Sean Chandler posted that video on his community page. So I think I got some subs from that. So Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. But I'll see what's going. But check out my old content that I posted this last week.
Yeah, guys. This has been crazy for me as well. You know, making lots of videos, lots of reviews. Did the Mulan stuff, the Nolan stuff. Yeah, so for me, pretty much, I'm looking up to see what movies are coming out next week. I know I'm doing a review for I'm Thinking of Ending Things, the new Charlie Kaufman movie on Netflix, which I wanted to check out.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna. I just movie reviews. Unless it's a big movie, I'm not gonna review it because they just do so poorly on my channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain movies that don't do well. I'm just looking to see what's coming out. Yeah, not really much is coming out next week, so I'll kind of play by ear, and I'll let you guys know in the post. But anyway, we thank you guys so much for watching episode 24 of the Fallen for Film podcast. Look forward to episode 25 next week with the guests. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great week, guys.